So everyone's now saying that Tekashi has snitched, but has he? The big question now is, he snitched, or is it the snitch jacket of the century? From the very beginning, I've been saying the feds play these three-dimensional chess games of complex legal strategies, and what we're seeing now in the media is a gross oversimplification. So, they're saying that now court documents have been released, blah blah blah, according to TMZ, blah blah blah. Tekashi has snitched to get a lesser sentence. But let's actually look at what they're putting in the news. More details about Tekashi 6ix9ine's case have been revealed. TMZ obtained a transcript from his plea hearing this week, and the Brooklyn rapper opens up about his criminal activities. It was originally thought that he would plead to 8 counts, but it's actually 9. Now, here's what Tekashi said according to the news. On or about June the 2nd, 2018, in furtherance of the 9 Trey enterprise, I paid a person to shoot at a rival member of 9 Trey to scare him. The shooting took place in Manhattan. I did this to maintain or increase my own standing in 9 Trey. In furtherance of this shooting, I knew that a member of 9 Trey discharged a gun. On or about March 20th, 2018, I helped members of 9 Trey attempt to kill a rival gang member. I apologise to the court, to anyone who's hurt, to my family, friends and fans for what I have done and who I have let down. Does that sound like Tekashi 6ix9ine's words? In furtherance of 9 Trey. Of the 9 Trey enterprise. I guarantee you 100% these are not Tekashi 6ix9ine's words. These are the words of his lawyer. In the video I recently did about my own paperwork, was my paperwork versus, my racketeering case like Tekashi 6ix9ine's that I had in Arizona, the lawyers, the prosecutor all used the word the Attwood enterprise. The Attwood enterprise. Furtherance, this is complete and utter legalese. So, the news is saying that Tekashi has snitched and said these things to the police. That's complete and utter BS. This is legalese filed by Tekashi's lawyer as part of a plea agreement. A plea agreement is not snitching. Let me just stop a second and say, first of all, if you are signing a plea bargain, 98% of the cases in Arizona go to plea bargain, they do not go to trial. So nearly everybody in the justice system signs a plea bargain. I'll put in the description box below this video the link to my video, what is a plea bargain. And in saying these things, I'm not saying that Tekashi has not snitched. I'm not saying that Tekashi has snitched. I am just saying, let's look at this objectively right now, because the whole world and the media seems to have jumped the gun. So, very early on in my video series about Tekashi 6ix9ine, I said even though the states haven't prosecuted and put him in prison, the feds will. And people said that was ridiculous, it's never going to happen. Then I put out about he needed to form a united front, get all the co-defendants lined up together with a head high-priced lawyer, and then spread the legal news, spread the legal power through everybody, even though he's got the most highest priced lawyer, and that will prevent people from snitching. Then I said they will put a snitch jacket on Tekashi 6ix9ine, which means by moving him over to another prison, separating him from his co-defendants, it gives the impression that he's snitched to make all of your other co-defendants think that you are turning, and they need to turn as well to save themselves. So now what I'm saying is, there is no paperwork online showing specifically that Tekashi 6ix9ine has snitched. if you snitch on somebody, it creates paperwork. In this latest round of news reports, they're saying that 3 people were arrested to do with this, the Chief Keef stuff, and their lawyers will file a motion to get all of the evidence against them submitted back to their own lawyers, and in that paperwork will be all of witness statements, any snitching, it's all going to be right in there. So if Tekashi 6ix9ine has snitched on those 3 individuals, it will be in the paperwork. So again, the question is, where is the paperwork? It seems to me like the news is making a big deal out of him doing a plea bargain, which is not snitching. I had to get up in front of the judge and say, Your Honour, I used an electronic device to commit a drug transaction. I plead guilty to this crime. Here's the mitigating circumstances. Have mercy on my soul, etc., etc. That is par for the course. That's what everybody goes through. Only complete kamikazes take their cases to trial, because at trial it costs the state money, and if you cost the state money, they will make an example out of you. They will give you the maximum super aggravated sentence. So in my case, over 100 co-defendants, only 4 cooperated, and the people who had cooperated, their sentences range from time served to 6 years. So if Tekashi 6ix9ine has snitched, I'm not saying he's not snitched, and I'm not putting this out there saying that I'm behind Tekashi 6ix9ine. I'm just trying to look at it objectively and get the correct legal information out to the viewers. So if Tekashi 6ix9ine has snitched, he was facing 47 years on the existing charges. Now what that means is, if he's snitched and it's in his plea bargain, he will then get a sentencing range below this 47 years. So the prosecutor might have said to him, here's a lawyer, we'll get this down to like 5 to 10 years if he cooperates. But in the Fed system versus the state system, they're not supposed to give you that amount of information up front, but the lawyers behind closed doors do these kind of deals. In the Fed system, the legalese for it is that if you're cooperating, we will give you a reduction below the minimum mandatory sentencing for these crimes. So if he has snitched, his 47-year, what he was facing, will be reduced drastically. And like I said, the highest anyone got in my case out of the snitches was 6 years. Others got time served. But because attempted murder is involved here, and vast amounts of drugs, including heroin, it is a serious situation. But I don't believe that Tekashi has any prior felonies in the federal court system, so that will be a mitigating circumstance. Well, mitigating circumstances is what reduce your sentence. They're factors. So for example, Tekashi 6ix9ine, his father died, he had this hard upbringing. All of these things are mitigating circumstances. Now my next question is, a lot of these news reports are saying sources close to law enforcement, or sources in law enforcement, or TMZ, are saying Tekashi is snitching. Why on earth would the cops want to put out on Front Street who their main witness is at this early stage of the game? Yeah, they're trying to break all these guys down psychologically right now by giving the impression that each other is snitching. That's more likely. But if they had a genuine snitch, would they put that out there for the world to know, so that their snitch then has got his life threatened, he's going to be KOS in prison, his family on the streets are going to get threatened, he's got a girlfriend, all this stuff, there's going to be all these repercussions. If Tekashi had agreed to snitch, the cops would agree to keep that confidential for the time being. So nothing is adding up right now in this news story that Tekashi 6ix9ine has snitched. Let me just read a little bit more about this. Tekashi spoke about the Chief Keef shooting and gave up the trigger man while explaining what happened. I paid a person to shoot at a rival member of 9 Trey to scare him. The shooting took place in Manhattan, I did this to maintain or increase my own standing in 9Tre. Now, Tekashi, he's no gangster. He clicked up with these guys to sell his music, to look badass. People like Rick Ross, who try and look badass and manufacture these incidents to make them look like OGs. Rick Ross was a prison guard. He was a fraud. It's all marketing. This is all marketing, trying to just con young people into thinking these guys are clicked up with real gangsters so they can sell more records. But when Tekashi got in with the trade blood, you know, he sold his soul to the devil, and he's suffering the repercussions of that now. So yeah, he was a marketing genius for a little bit there, but at one hell of a price if this huge chunk of his life is going to get taken away. So let me read a little bit more. For his drug trafficking charge, Tekashi admitted to selling a kilo of heroin in 2017. He indeed struck a plea deal and is cooperating with federal officers, which should reduce his sentencing significantly. Like I said, everybody signs a plea deal at the end of the day. All of his co-defendants, more likely than not, they will sign plea deals as well. Not snitching. That is just what you do to avoid going to trial and getting hung out to dry. As of right now, minimum sentence is 47 years. However, that should begin to decrease the more helpful Tekashi is. I love how the media phrase these things. That's a given, isn't it? If he's cooperating, he's going to get his sentence reduced. But they're saying it as if he's already done it. Tekashi has reportedly pled guilty to 8 these counts. TMZ reports, like TMZ now is the gospel Bible truth on anything that's happening in the court system involving Tekashi 6ix9ine. He reached a deal and pled guilty to multiple counts of racketeering, conspiracy, firearms offences plus narcotics trafficking. Sentence is scheduled for January 24, 2020. Like I said, he would not have a trial towards the end of this year. He also will more than likely not get sentenced on January 24th, 2020. The three-dimensional chess playing participants in the justice system, prosecutors, etc., will be constantly playing games with all of the co-defendants, changing trial dates, changing plea bargain sentencing dates. He's got to have a hearing before his sentencing to get all of his mitigating circumstances and that kind of stuff in. Let's keep going with what they're saying on the news. The Daily Beast reports that the Brooklyn rapper pled guilty. Records were only made public this morning, 2 months after he was arrested by the feds for racketeering and firearms charges, accused of being part of the 9Tre Bloods, committing brazen acts of violence. Last night, Page 6 reported Tekashi may have cut a deal when he was not named as a defendant in the updated indictment in connection with the attempted murder of rival rapper Chief Keef. Now, what that means, he has separated his case from the other co-defendants. Again, that does not mean that he has snitched. It's not good to have a trial with all of the other co-defendants because you all look guiltier when it goes down that way. The court likes to do it to save money, and the prosecutor likes to get it that way, get a bunch of people in at the same time, just process them all at once, get them all looking guilty. But a strategist, a legal brainiac, and he's got one end behind him with all of his money, would file a motion to request a judge separate his trial from his co-defendants so their gangsterism doesn't rub off on him in the trial. That is normal legal strategy. So again, that's just BS to say that that means that he has snitched. It absolutely does not. Neither the US Attorney's Office nor 6ix9ine's new lawyer would give a statement if he has flipped on his previous co-defendants. There you go. Law enforcement is not specifying that he's snitched. As far as I'm aware, co-defendants have not got paperwork that he's snitched. But it is like the talk of the town right now. Even some of the other channels are putting videos out there saying, you know, what's going to happen to him now, he's a rat and all this stuff. So maybe he is, maybe he has snitched, but show us the paperwork first. That's what people should be asking. The attorney withheld information that he previously represented two of Tekashi's fellow 9 trade gangster blood co-defendants, his previous lawyer Lance Lazaro, who he fired, Mackenzie aka Kuda B, and Tekashi's former manager Kifano Jordan aka Shotty were charged for allegedly shooting at Chief Keef in Midtown in June. Hype Beast will update as more details of this case become public. Tekashi's people should have been watching my videos on this situation as soon as those arrests went down. If he'd have formed a united front, got word out to all the co-defendants that they were having a lead lawyer that was going to represent all of their interests, it wouldn't be boiling down now to them all going up against each other. Shotty's the snitch one week, Tekashi's the snitch the next week, and these threats being exchanged and all of this stuff that is potentially ruining their chances of getting out. So from my own legal experience, from my own case in Arizona, that is my opinion on this matter. Just trying to be objective and give you guys the legal information. In the description box below will be my video on what is a plea bargain, my own racketeering case like Tekashi 6ix9ine's, and my Tekashi 6ix9ine playlist and my prison questions playlist. So there you have it for now. Cheers from Cheshire, where I'm currently on tour, doing talks, back down south next week. Take care out there. Don't be getting arrested. Cheers.